make it all undone.
All right. Let's get the full screen going. You're Ilana.
And I think you're Captain Sean tonight.
And together we are the
Downunder
Cruisers. How you going, folks? Nice to have you on board.
Welcome.
Well, we've got a couple of things happening tonight. Did you know that?
A couple. I know of one who's waiting for us.
We've got one
excited
waiting.
about that.
We've got one waiting.
What's the second one?
Well, I'll hold on to that for a bit.
Oh, okay. Don't hold on too tightly.
I won't because my voice will
exactly. That's the problem.
Yep. All right. First in the chat. Well, what can I say? Sir John.
Hello, John. Thanks for joining us.
John, 2002. How are you? Okay, next in the chat, we had young Heather.
Hello, Heather.
G'day, Heather. How you going?
Second silver medal tonight.
Silver medal. So John wanted to know what does he win if he comes in first, and I said that he won 10 million P&O Australia points.
P&O Australia. Wow.
Well, that's really good because John's from the other side of the pond, so he doesn't have a clue what P&O is.
No, you'll be going far with those, John.
Yeah, rule far. Oh, look who's next.
G'day, Kenny.
Yeah. How you going, Kenny?
Glad you'll be listening in the background.
Yeah,
we know you're here in spirit.
We know you're here in spirit and bravado. Yeah, all right. Change that. Stop that. Who else have we got here? We got a couple of people saying g'day, and then there's JNN saying hello to somebody. Oh, he's still waiting and all that sort of stuff.
Well, we know we've got 12 people at the moment,
yeah,
and we only have 13 now coming in.
Yeah. And we've only got a couple people here in the chat that are actually giving us any pointers of who's there and what. Look who's there. Bill from MGM. Welcome aboard, Bill. Nice to hey, I was watching your stream earlier on, and your stream was really awesome. I got to watch it in the replay.
And want to agree with what you say about the community, how generous of spirit and generous in reaching into their pockets too, I must say.
Yeah.
Totally agree.
John, not Shawnski, okay? Because you're giving me a Polish undertone, and I can't handle Polish undertones. David Burgess, g'day Dave, how you going, buddy? Nice to welcome you on board.
Hey, David.
We've got Eric B. Welcome
party
aboard,
people.
Eric.
Woohoo! We're going to party in a minute with our guest.
Yeah, we are. Barefoot in Alaska with Dana. How are you?
Dana.
Welcome aboard. Nice to have you.
How's Alaska today?
And Nick P. Welcome aboard, Nick. Nice to have you on board. Haven't had you for a while.
Hi, Nick,
so it's been
from
nice
Minnesota.
From Minnesota,
Has he told us how to pronounce it?
Yeah, Minnesota. And then we've got Dan from Dan. From the Adventures of Traveling Mike. Welcome aboard, Dan. Nice to have you on board.
Nice crowd in tonight.
Yeah, we're getting a lot of people.
Arthur,
there's Arthur.
G'day, Arthur.
Adelaide, how you going, Arthur? Nice to have you on board, buddy. Mate, you're going to like who we've got on board coming up shortly. Yes, you do. Yes, you will. All right. Oh,
and Mike.
G'day, mate.
Mike,
I'm seeing you starting to pronounce it properly. Welcome aboard. And also, Mike, just to let you know, we are on the correct side of the road.
We are.
You had me worried when you were driving. Totally worried. Overtaking on the left. How the hell do you do that? You've got to overtake on the right. Jeez. And then we've got Najuma.
Thank you, Najuma, once again.
Yes, nice to have you on board. All right.
Let's not wait any longer.
Without further ado. Okay, I've just got to remove this one first. Okay, without further ado, let me do this now.
We are going to bring our guest in, and then we'll tell you who she is.
Actually, first I'm going to give it by way of a video.
Are you going to do that first?
Yeah. We're just going to do a clip or two.
Okay.
Because I think you guys may be interested. This particular person is, well, what can I say?
What can you say?
Well, just see. She's been on one of the she's been an entertainer on a lot of our cruise ships. But this one will be a really interesting one for you. So, guys, I'm going to let you have a look.
You may even recognize her. You might have seen her yourselves.
Here we go. Let's bring it up.
Wow, wow, wow.
Any idea, folks, who we're talking about? Well, let me bring her up, and then you can actually ask questions and talk to her later. Welcome aboard, Colin Mackenzie. Cool. How you going, Colin?
How are you, Colin?
Hi. How are you guys?
We're all very well. Thank you. Thank you so much. And thank you for your time coming on board.
Now, we met, just by way of introduction, we met Colin quite fortuitously. Was it just last week, I think?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, it was. It was.
It was about last week. Yes. In the flesh, yeah. Colin is here. Not in the room next door to us, but not too far away. That's all we'll say. She's in our side of the planet, nearby. So we're really thrilled.
Something like that.
So we're really thrilled to have you. You are amazing. What a powerhouse.
So let me just bring this concept on you. We're in the middle of a first aid course, and I go, okay. You seem to be a bit on the acting side. What have you done? Oh, I'm an actor. I've been working on cruise ships. And I go, cruise ships? My eyes open up. What cruise ships have you been on? Well, this is the list. I mean, I'd rather let Colin tell us the list. So what cruise ships have you been doing?
Oh, gosh, a lot of them. So Princess, Royal, Viking, Queen Elizabeth, Cunard, Norwegian, Holland. I'm sure there's one other, but I can't remember at the moment. Yeah, a lot.
Well, that's cool.
Well, someone possibly has recognized you already.
I have. I was on NCL. I've been on there a couple of times. Once was ages ago, like 2004 or 5, and then I was on there again fairly recently. I would say probably 3 or 4 years ago.
So which ship?
Yeah.
Most recent, which ship?
The most recent, I did Viking the most recently, which was a real pleasure. If you ever get a chance. Woo!
Yeah. The most recent NCL?
The most recent, probably that was, I would say, 2012 or something like that. So maybe a little bit longer ago, actually.
So how did you get involved with it?
So I did what a lot of people do when you get out of musical theater school, and I went to New York and realized it was really cold. And I'd been there for a few months, and I really was not enjoying life. It was cold. It was pretty miserable. You got to work 3 jobs and then also still try to go to all of your auditions. And this audition for Norwegian, actually, Norwegian was my first ship, came up, and I was like, you know what? Let's do a cruise ship. Let's go and audition for that. And I got it. And they were like, hey, can you leave in 3 weeks? And I said, sure. And so I left, and I haven't looked back. While I have many friends who are still freezing in New York, I do not. So
you just freeze in Melbourne, right?
Well, right now, yeah. Well, today was lovely, but yeah, it's been a little chilly recently. I did not realize when I came down under it would be this cold all the time.
John is saying that you've been on either the Escape or the Bliss is what he remembers.
No, it was an older one. I'll try to remember. I'll try to pull up my memory banks, because that one was, now that I'm thinking about it, was quite a long time ago. Yeah. But yeah.
Now, David, who is in New South Wales, he says anyone who sings a heart song has literally won his heart.
And we agree too. We love heart.
That is, Ann Wilson is quite possibly one of the best singers of all time.
I'd agree with you.
Female singers of all time. She's amazing.
Yep. Have you seen her do Led Zeppelin? Have you seen her do the Kennedy Honors?
Yes. And she still sounds amazing.
Brilliant.
Yeah. She's what, in her 60s now, and she sounds the same. And
yes,
I'm like, well, life goals.
Yep. Correct. We love them.
So the elephant in the room, this break, are you off the cruises now because of this pandemic?
Yeah, so I probably could give you a little bit of insider information.
That'd be nice.
Yes, please. What have you heard?
I have an agent who works with us for because I'm a guest entertainer now. I don't do the production shows anymore, so I'm a headliner, which is amazing. But it is a different beast as far as getting out and performing goes. But we do get to talk a lot because, we're obviously trying to get back out to work as soon as we can. And we're constantly sort of getting updates. So one thing I can sort of tell you is that we're not sure exactly when cruising will resume. But when it does, they're looking probably towards October to start, probably at the earliest, because we're sort of out.
We hope. Sorry, 21, we hope.
21,
20,
yeah.
Not 22.
21. Ideally, they said hopefully we'll be back October. Don't quote me on that, but that's when they're aiming. And the first cruises will be all local. So they'll all be around Australia, potentially Australia, New Zealand, Tassie bubble.
Yep.
Potentially. So it will be local probably for the first season. Until we sort of have things under control a bit more again. I know America has started trying to do some cruising, and I know Europe has tried to do some cruising, but again, things get shut down so quickly. But that's when Australia is aiming to potentially come back, is hopefully October, November of this year for local cruising, and then we'll maybe hopefully get to leave the bubble in the next season.
That would be awesome.
Well, we're surprised that actually hasn't happened sooner with our bubble. Since we're pretty much COVID-free.
The reason why is because of, first of all, the vaccine for the crew. Getting the crew vaccinated is taking such a long time for people who would be able to be working on a ship to be able to get vaccinated. So that's sort of the main concern is if the crew has to be vaccinated, a lot of them come from all over the world and it's not fully available all over the world and en masse. So that's kind of what's important is making sure that if people are going to be on ships, they're vaccinated and they're safe, so that way they're not going to get people sick. Especially predominantly since a lot of our cruisers are in the risk zone, so we just, everybody wants to be safe.
So Colin, a question from the chat. Arthur asks, what's a typical day in your job?
On the ship?
Yep.
So it kind of depends. I'm gonna do a little strip here for.
Oh, we don't mind.
It's a little warm. So on the ship, when I'm a guest entertainer, I'll get to the ship and I'll meet the cruise director and I'll try to meet the bandmaster, give them all of my music. If we're doing tracks, I'll give them my tracks. We'll usually meet the stage manager as well on the first or second day, just depending on what times we have. Usually I don't have a show the first night I turn up. I usually say, please don't, because that's very hard to do. The first day you turn up to have to do your full show, because you basically do 3 shows. So when I'm going to be doing my show, I'll sort of kind of chill in the morning, maybe go to the gym just to get things moving. Then I'll have my rehearsal with the band and I give them my sheet music. They've had a chance to look over it for maybe a day, and we'll do a rehearsal. We'll basically sing the whole show through, play it with the band. If there's any questions, we go through a few things. But we usually get that done in an hour, 2 max. And then I'll have an hour or 2 off. And then I'll go and do a show. And then I'll have a little break. And then I'll go and do a show. And then usually I'll go out and hang out either with the band and buy them some drinks. Or depending on what the situation is, sometimes I'll go up to the club and have drinks with the passengers just because it's fun. And I'm done with the show for the night. So yeah, why not? And occasionally I get a bit cheeky and I'll go and sing with like the party band.
If they so when you go on board ship, they don't put you into the crew quarters, do they?
It depends on the line. So, for instance, if you're a guest tent with Princess, you'll probably go into the crew area, but you'll be in a bigger cabin, usually with a window, not always. So with most lines, you'll either do that situation or they will give you a passenger cabin, but it might be an inside cabin. It just depends. And sometimes it also depends on the availability on the ship. Like on Viking, I got a passenger cabin just because there were so many guest speakers on that they literally ran out. So they were like, oh, well, you know, here's a free guest cabin, which was amazing.
Oh, they're beautiful ships, the Viking cruises.
Yeah, heated bathroom floors.
Oh, wow.
Can I are you allowed to travel with a partner?
Sometimes. With COVID stuff, we're not going to be able to do that anymore. Not for a while, but in the past we could. If we give them enough notice and assuming they can stay in the room with you. Yeah. And a lot of people do. Just it's nice, especially if you are going to do something more than a week. It's nice to bring your partner if you can.
So, Colin, just for your info, David Burgess is your new agent. He's just given you a shot in going for Vegas. He says, "Listen, do you think Colin would be awesome for Rock of Ages in Vegas?"
I would love to go back to Vegas. I have lots of friends in Vegas, actually. But yeah, it's been tough going for them because obviously shows are down for the most part in Vegas. So it's been real tough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can I just ask, sorry, I just want to ask Colin, how did you end up in Melbourne? Was it the pandemic? Were you stepping off a cruise ship into Melbourne when things shut down? So that's how you're here? How did you get here?
No, I'm married in Aussie.
Oh,
yeah.
Yes, my husband. So I used to work for Disney as well. So that was something I did a good long time ago. Not Disney Cruise Lines though. I did land Disney in Hong Kong, and while I was there, I literally married my prince. So I was Belle and friend of Belle's, and my husband was Tarzan / also a prince, and so we met, we fell in love, and few years later, we finally got married, and I decided to move down here rather than us going to the States. And in retrospect, I'm so glad. We weren't sure, and now we're like, whew, dodge that bullet.
Yeah. John from JNN Travels asks, are there any rumors or any more rumors about cruising from the US?
So I know they've tried to do some cruises from the US, again, sort of locally or to the US Virgin Islands. But I think they've pretty much been shut down again. So unfortunately, it's still not going to happen. But they are looking, like I said, probably more towards the end of the year. Yeah,
that sucks.
I know, and at the moment as well, if we finally do open up a little bit further, we'll probably only open up towards Asia or towards the South Pacific. So that's probably, if we open up a little further than our sort of Australia, New Zealand bubble, it'll probably only be to there at the beginning. It's going to take a while before we get back to our world cruising, which is a shame.
So Eric B says that America is great, but sometimes he questions the greatness of Americans, which is a...
You and me both, buddy.
Let's see, who else?
I don't want to get into politics. I'll tell you that right now.
No. We don't go down that path either. Yeah, there's only one thing we like about politics, and that's politicians is keeping it to themselves.
Right now,
don't keep all of the politics out of this one, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's for a whole different channel.
That's right. David is saying listening to your voice makes him want to duct tape himself to a cargo plane to LA.
You either love the accent or you hate it.
David's happy to duct tape himself to anything across the waters, actually. A floating carcass is mentioned last week.
Yeah.
I do miss being out to sea. It is one of it. There's nothing like getting on a ship and having that first day at sea where you just can see nothing but blue.
Yeah. Yep. Agreed.
So good.
Yeah, there's something special, isn't there? Really.
Yeah.
Richard, quick, g'day. Welcome aboard, Richard. Nice to have you on board.
Hi, Richard.
Richard, we're busy talking with an entertainer on board ship, Colin Mackenzie Poole, who has entertained a number of us at various times throughout our cruising history. So welcome aboard and have a listen to the chat.
And we didn't say hello to Ron C, who dropped in. I don't know whether he's still here, but hello, Ron, if you're still with us.
G'day, Ron.
Thanks for popping by.
Heather from Us and More says, Colin, what has been your favourite and worst ships to work with? Why? And can you give a good and bad experience?
Oh, gosh. Well, I wouldn't say there's a worst one. They're all just very different. And some of them have different rules. Some of them have different amenities. Some of them have different staff. I will always say where my heart lies is probably with Princess, because that was where I've probably spent the most time cruising and working. And I just know so many people, and I think most of the time when I go back to Princess, it kind of feels like home, in a weird way, because I just know so many of them. I would say, sorry, my computer's dying, so I am getting a power cord from my husband. You want to say hi, honey? Nope. He says,
hi, honey.
Hi.
He's a little.
Come on in, Prince Charming. We don't mind.
You can come in and join us.
I would say probably one of the strangest experience. I wouldn't say worse, but it was very strange. Was being on the Queen Elizabeth, because my show is very rock and roll, and it's very like fist pumping, and it was not the right crowd. Oh, to say the least. I'm not sure if they appreciated my gusto.
And whose fault
very
was
much
that?
run out to the audience and give high fives, and it was maybe not quite the right audience.
Excuse me.
It's very formal on the Cunards, isn't it, too? And yes, what is it? The grey rinse, the blue rinse and pearl set, should I say? I shouldn't stereotype, really.
Yeah, but at the same time, I had such a good time because I was on with so many other guest entertainers, because it was 8 days at sea or something ridiculous like that. And there were so many of us on, so we all became really good friends. And we still chat to this day, actually. But it was just such a strange thing, because my show just did not work with that audience. They would have preferred an hour of, symphony, of classical guitar. And here I am, I'm like, yeah. So
shake it up.
Yeah, it didn't quite work.
Love it.
David says, I bet you win a lot of karaoke comps.
I actually no, I don't, because my favorite thing to do at karaoke is to sing badly.
Or deliberately.
Yeah, because I love when people get up and they just have no inhibition and they just want to sing their faces off, and they don't care if they crack, they don't care if they sound good or bad, or they forget words. And I don't want to be that person who gets up and is like the perfect person who sings it exactly to the letter. I'm like, nah, we're gonna just have fun with this. So I like to pick really strange songs as well that I'm probably not good at.
What's an example? Give us what would you choose?
So I do love me some rap. And I will get up and try to rap. I will try to do me some shoots. And
the only good thing about me and rapping is getting a piece of paper and putting it around a
that's your
piece
rapping.
of wire or something. That's my rapping.
Yeah, I can't even do that.
Another question from David says he never remembered the first day on a cruise ship, but that may be more about him. Well, I can understand because he'd be alcoholically induced, knowing Dave.
That happens a lot.
Yep. Eric is saying that yes, please keep politics out. I'm not drinking. Yeah, good. Keep it that way.
I am.
Excellent. Enjoy.
Cheers.
Enjoy. What are you having?
It's just a little Chardonnay.
Oh, just
enjoy.
a little one. You can have a big one. We don't mind. Richard is saying g'day to you from Windsor, Ontario.
Yeah.
61 degrees Fahrenheit.
61 Fahrenheit. Yeah. Oh, that's pretty warm actually for you guys.
Yeah, it is. I'm still trying to convert.
I've done a lot of Canada. I've done Victoria, Vancouver, Montreal, Sydney, Canada, Halifax, and Quebec City.
Awesome.
John's got another question.
Yeah, John does have another question for you. He says, do you spend the whole cruise on board or fly into port for a shorter time on
Shorter
board?
time, yeah. So what happens, for the most part, occasionally if it's like a short cruise, like if it's like 7 or 8 days, you'll go for the whole time. And especially if you're doing, because I've done the Mexico route quite a bit in the past, back when I was in the States, where it's literally, a week roundabout. And so you can actually stay on that ship for like a month and you kind of just get on. You've got a new, passenger. You've got new passengers every week. So sometimes that'll happen. But for the most part, yeah, you'll get flown in somewhere really random, and you'll make your way to the ship, and then you'll usually get off in sort of a major port from there. Or oftentimes it goes the other way around. You go in from a major, you get on like embark day, and then you'll get off in some random port.
Just very quickly, g'day to Danny from Griswold Family Vacay. Welcome aboard, Danny. If you're not knowledgeable, we've got Colin here from.
Sorry,
cute.
Now you've destroyed me. I love dogs.
He's a bit needy right now because he got a haircut and he's feeling a little not confident because he doesn't have his hair.
Okay.
He's very fluffy, and right now he's skinny.
Oh, has he got a little sweater on or something? I could just see the top of his head there. Has he got a little sweater on?
Yeah, he does, because he's a bit skinny at the moment, so he's not used to. Yeah, sorry. Yes, I do have a fluffy, skinny dog, but I also have a Staffy. She's very cool.
So
yeah,
what are their names?
She's got a bit of a busted leg though, so she can't really get up onto.
What color Staffy is it?
Black. She's the most gorgeous thing on the planet. She's so chilled, so loving, sweetest thing. I will say this: people give the wrong idea about Staffies so often, but she is the sweetest thing on the planet. I'm so happy we got her.
I have a Staffy
as well. Yeah,
I have a Staffy nephew.
Aww,
a black one. Called Murphy. And he's and I didn't like Staffies before we had Murphy in the family, and he's the most beautiful, loving, happy, helicopter tail, constantly non-stop, beautiful.
And but that tail is fierce. It will whack you in the shins.
Oh yeah.
And they're like bulldozers. They just want to get at you, to love you.
Yeah.
David is saying that the Queen Mary passed them when they were in port in Boston, and they started a Mexican wave. The passengers on the Queen Mary all fell over. That'd be about right. Eric is asking you, do you have a YouTube with your performing, or did I miss that? Eric, yes, we do. And I'll put that into the chat in a minute.
We'll post the link
because I do have the links for you.
We'll post the link in the chat and people can go visit your page. Lovely.
So this is, hang on a second, boys and girls.
And so while we're doing that, Colin, while you're in Melbourne and not able to travel, are you performing here?
Yeah, so I actually have a couple of different things. So as a performer, you always have lots of pots on the stove. So I have a cover band that I sing with. We actually have a gig Friday next week, I think.
Whereabouts? What's your band's name?
It's called Retroforce. It's just a 80s pop fun cover band.
Yay, 80s. Woo.
Yeah, it's going to be at Eddie's Band Room. So I've got them. I'm working with them. I have a original rock band that we've been working with. And we actually just had our first single come out, which is really exciting. We call the Silent K Band. It's very hard rock, a little heavy metal. No screaming. If anybody remembers the band Evanescence, it's a bit like that.
Fantastic.
So we've just had our first single sort of come out, and we're on Spotify now, so that's really exciting. And then I also sing with an Andrew Sisters trio. Fabulous. Yeah. And I've actually done a couple of cruises with that group. They're called the Pacific Bells. We did the Cruise of the Arts that came down here to Australia on Royal. We've done that a couple of years. It was supposed to happen, obviously, 2020, and we were supposed to go, but didn't happen.
So you know that we've renamed 2020
as
Deck 13.
Oh, so true. So true. Yep.
So you've got your fingers in. You have your fingers, Colin, in many pies and all different sort of musical sort of genres. With
yeah. I mean, and I will say this about being when I was doing production work on the ship, a lot of people in the musical theater industry occasionally look down on it as a performer, and I find that really strange because they sing the same thing every single night, which yes, it's very hard, and I will never knock it ever, but we have to sing every genre. I've literally had to sing a French aria one night, and then a rock song the next night, and then a pop song, the following night, and then musical theater the next night. So we have to meld and shift how we sing depending on the show. So as a production vocalist, so I have found that to be really invaluable, and it's actually helped me get so much extra work away from ships as well. So
awesome.
I've been very fortunate that I've been able to get to sing all these wonderful different types of music too. I'm Scottish.
That came from Danny. Yep. Danny likes to think he is Scottish too, but I know he's American, so what can we say?
Mackenzie.
Yeah. David again. On a serious note, you guys who choose to live a life on ships makes us mere mortal passengers day every day of the week. You are always appreciated. Yeah. Love the shows and the entertainment.
So true.
Thank you for that. That is one thing that I will say will never ever get old, is when a passenger has a good time.
Yep.
That's the best thing, is that when they have a good time and you know that they've had a good time, there's nothing like it. It makes every time you do the show awesome,
So Eric makes the comment that he likes Evanescence. That's the one.
Amy Lee. She's amazing too. Yeah.
Yeah, we actually got my band. We actually got selected for one of their official fan videos or whatever. We did a cover of one of their songs, and they picked us and pulled us in and put a few of our clips into it. So that was really cool.
Wow.
So Danny has corrected me. His grandmother was born in Glasgow.
I was not born in Scotland, obviously, with the accent, but my great-grandpa was from Scotland. We're Clan Mackenzie, and my dad is very much into his, family heritage and has sort of researched all this stuff. And yeah, they came over to the States on Ellis Island as well. So that's really cool.
David going off again. It's a sincere compliment, but coming from someone who cannot keep in time with a dripping kitchen tap. Yeah. Okay.
Poor Dave.
Get back on the microwave, will you, Dave? You have another subscriber to your channel, Colin.
Oh, beautiful.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you, Al.
That's
That's
really
great.
nice.
That's great. I'm sure you'll have a few more.
I've never put the videos up for subscribers. It's honestly more, I put up the videos because I use them on my website for when bookers are looking at stuff. So thanks. It's super exciting. Yay.
But you'll find that the more you link up with organizations like ours, the more people are going to come on board and check out your videos, and the more you're going to get promotions happening.
Yeah, that's really cool. I've always just sort of, I won't say been lucky. I will say I've worked very hard, and at the same time had the luck fall in line with that hard work.
Yeah.
So me being able to transition, and maybe people might not know this, but transitioning from being a production vocalist to a fly-on guest entertainer is actually a really hard transition, because you sort of get pigeonholed.
Yes.
And people will they'll be like, oh, well, we know you as a production singer, so they don't want to let you try to progress into doing your own show. So I kind of got lucky that a guest entertainer got sick. And I had to have my show ready and was able to do it. I did 4 shows that night, 2 of my show and 2 of the production show.
Wow.
Yeah.
You must have been knackered.
I was elated.
I can imagine.
Yeah, it was amazing. Elated, happy. Yeah, exhausted, but the good type. And from there, it just spiraled. And I was so lucky to have had an opportunity, because a lot of people don't even get that.
No, that's true.
Yeah.
That's true. There's a question from Bill at MGM Family Travels. He's asking, do you speak any other language other than Australian and American?
Which are different, by the way. They are different. I didn't understand my husband for the first 6 months.
Hey, I came from South Africa and I spoke English, and I didn't understand the lecturer for at least half an hour before they.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
I do speak Spanish. I wouldn't say fluently, but conversationally. I understand a lot more than I can actually speak back, which is unfortunate, because trying to convey sometimes what I'm getting at is sometimes a challenge. But I do understand Spanish pretty much for the most part. Actually, my drummer in my originals band, my Silent K band, he's from Colombia. So every time we rehearse, I'm like, I got to talk to you in Spanish so I can practice. Yeah, because if you don't use it, you lose it. Yes, they are super, super popular in Outlander.
Yep.
Clan Mackenzie.
Heather's asking, do you act also or like musical plays?
Yes, I have done a lot of those in the past. I kind of backed away from it because the industry here is quite different in Australia than it is in the States. And also it's very, there's not as much work. In the States, there's just so much work. And yes, there's a lot more people, but there's a lot more opportunities. Here, the opportunities are quite slim if you want to get paid. And I am not a kick and splitter. Yeah. I cannot kick myself in the face anymore. It's just not going to happen. But I do have an agent here as well. So I do occasionally go out for musicals. I did Chess ages ago. They've just put it out again. And like I have 3 friends in the show who I did it with the last time. And I was like, well done.
Family back together again.
Yeah. And then
David says doesn't come from luck. Don't underestimate yourself.
It's got to be talent.
I think it's a combination of hard work and having those couple of lucky moments that happen. I'm just gonna laugh at whatever that one. That was good.
Yeah, it was good.
David's a bit of a character.
I love you, David.
John is saying, do you have any idea what ships or cruise lines you'll be working on in 2021?
So again, it just depends on who's allowed to come down here and how many ships and what ships. And then it also depends on how long I'll have to stay on, because one of the things with guest entertainers, normally guest entertainers will fly on for like a week, maybe 10 days. Occasionally you'll do a 2-week stint or something. But you'll usually only do a week. Now, with the way things are changing, they want guest entertainers to stay on for much, much longer. I heard a rumor of somebody who was supposed to stay on for 4 months straight.
Oh, really?
My husband would kill me if I did that. So it depends on the length of time they're going to require me to stay.
Yep.
Right now, they still haven't even started booking people for 2021. But they are asking for availability all the way out to 2023. So that's, I guess, promising in a way.
So I've got a suggestion for you. If you're willing to go with that, see what you can do by putting a request into Carnival for the Carnival Horizon, because we're doing this on October the 15th.
Okay, so
We just figured
Very exciting. Our group cruise, October 22, out of Miami on the Carnival Horizon.
are you actually going to be able to go?
well, we're hoping.
We are, touch wood.
Yeah, because I was going to say, like I said, most stuff is going to be returning October from what we've seen.
This is 22.
this is
This is
2022.
2022.
Oh, that's 2022. Ah,
Yes.
all right. Well, that's a ways off.
Yes.
I mean, I can always ask. I saw Amber Cove.
Have you been there?
So many times.
Well, you can always go again. Hey, but this time you can get your.
That's the great thing, is that sometimes you get to go to some of these places that, first of all, you never get to go to, and then it becomes like, your sort of cheers. Like, you walk up to this place and they know you. And like when we were in Mazatlan, the massage place, I had a punch card for how many massages I'd had. Like, because I was literally there every week. They knew me. They knew who to give me for the massages. I loved it. I loved it. It was, so you find these little wonderful places that maybe you would have never seen that you get to go to all the time. It's such a cool thing.
So tell me, so far has been your favorite port and why?
Oof.
Do you have one? Can you pick out one?
There's so many good ones.
Like-
Because I've been very, very lucky to go to some really amazing places. And some of them have had wonderful things for totally different reasons. Like, I got to go swim with sharks in Tahiti. That's cool.
Fabulous. That is
Like,
cool.
that's pretty amazing. Thank you, honey. He still doesn't want to say hi.
I'll just step in. Hey, Prince Charming, just step in. We don't mind. And I haven't had anything to drink either while I say that.
Or just book and join us. I mean, you never know. You never know. If I can get myself back to the States. But yeah, so I loved Tahiti because that was one of those like bucket list places that I'd always wanted to go. But then there was like this random place in Busan, Korea. I'd never even thought about going there in my whole life. And I loved it. And it was one of the most random experiences. And it happened to be on my birthday. And my whole cast, we went out for this barbecue lunch, but we didn't speak any Korean. Nobody in the restaurant spoke English. So we were just pointing at things and hoping that what we ordered was going to taste good. And it all was amazing. And it was like sit down on the floor and like everybody just huddled around this big table and this feast. And it's just amazing.
Oh, beautiful.
Yes. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Lana. Happy birthday to you.
Totally unscripted,
Oh my goodness!
folks.
Thank you so much. Thank you, hon. Thank you, Colin. Almost there, not quite there yet.
Tomorrow.
Thank you so much. That's I think the best happy birthday I've ever had sung to me.
You forgot the Madam President bit.
Oh,
Madam President.
Oh, I'm embarrassed.
So Eric is just saying, yes, you got to join the cruise.
All right, I will tell my agent. I'll say, all right, this is happening, and maybe I can figure out a little angle to get in on it.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah, I'll see if I can. Yeah, we'll chat afterwards.
Awesome. Let's do that. I'll get my people to talk to your people, and your people will talk to mine.
Hey, we might even know the captain.
Yeah.
I mean, it's enough a ways. It'll be tough because it's Miami, so usually they get Americans in Miami or who are close to there to come out. Yep. So I will say this, because I'm based in Australia, we have different sort of regions that we go to. So in the States, like there's a whole crew of people who like there's a whole bunch of fly-ons and headliners who do just state routes. And then in Europe, there's the same sort of thing. In China, there's less so. And China and in sort of Asia Pacific region, there's less so. So in Australia and New Zealand sort of also works with Asia and the Pacific region as well. So like one of my cruises, I went to South Africa to start.
Oh, sorry.
No, it was fine. It was great. But so we started there, but we made our way back across over to Australia. So it's kind of, that'll happen a lot where you do a crossing.
Where did you go to in South Africa? Cape Town or Durban?
Durban.
Durban would have been the better place.
And I literally didn't really get to see anything because it was like late, and I just sort of flew in and then stayed at the hotel, and then they get you up really early to get you on board.
Yeah, they want you before everybody else, right?
Well, it's not even that. It's about just when people are available to do things. So if passengers are off for the day, then they get you in early, first of all, because people are there so you can meet them.
Yep.
And conversely, if it's turnaround day and you get there, again, most people are going to be there, but only some people have the ability to talk to you. But you can get settled into your room faster or all of that stuff. So it's not very sexy getting on board. You just kind of.
It wouldn't be.
No.
Because you're working, so.
This is what I mean. So sometimes they'll say to you, they'll treat you quite badly occasionally, like some of the crew will, and then they'll go, "Oh, you're a guest entertainer," and I'm like, "Hi," and I just go, "I've been where you are. I totally get it, man," and then we're all friends. So
as a guest entertainer, you are allowed to mingle more openly. Is that correct? Do you have?
Yes. So you have full privileges usually, unless there's some sort of like if there's noro on the ship or something for some reason, they will say stick to your cabin because we don't want you to get sick. And if you do need to eat, they actually tell you to go to the officer's mess if there's like noro or something, just to sort of try to stop any transmission if you know, so that way you can still work.
Yep. So you're sort of almost self-quarantining.
David is saying we love transatlantics, but I'm guessing as entertainers, it's your worst time.
It can be tough. Yeah, because you're usually doing extra shows. Like you'll do not only your 2 shows at night, but sometimes you'll also either do a 3rd show or a matinee the next day. Or you'll also do a chat sometimes. Or yeah, there's a myriad of things. So they're asking you to do a game show, or come sing down at a dance or something like that. Just depends.
Have you done The Voice? Have you?
I just have to do this. John, thank you for popping in.
Thanks, John.
Appreciate it.
Great day at work.
A suggestion, mate. Check us on the replay.
Yeah.
Sorry. Continue.
We've been on Princess where they've had The Voice.
Yes.
Have you been a judge or have you seen that?
I have. Yep. I've done both sides of it actually. So when I was a production singer, they get the production singers to sing backup. And then when I've been a guest entertainer, they've had me be a judge. So I've done both. Yeah. It's more fun being a judge.
Yeah, I can imagine.
G'day, Tyler. How are you, buddy? Nice to have you on board.
Hi, Tyler.
Nice to have you up this early in the morning for you. Tyler's from the other side of the pond, and he's actually an awesome kid. This guy, he'd be in his late teens, but Tyler is one of those that is so switched on to the cruising community. It's not funny.
Sorry, just grabbing a dog again.
Oh, whoopee-doo. We love our dogs. Come on, it's okay.
Oh, he's. I think he's wanting me to feed him, to be honest, but. I think my husband to do that, but that's okay.
So how have you been handling this pandemic time? Have you been improving your material, or have you been songwriting, or do you write your own music?
Yes. So I've like I said, I've had a lot of pots on the stove. So yes, I wrote a 3rd show. So as a guest entertainer, we always have 2 shows ready to go. So I've been sort of writing a 3rd show, because if you're going to be staying on board for a longer period of time, and the cruises are a little bit longer, then you might need a 3rd show.
Can I just interrupt you just to ask you what that means when you say you're writing your own show? Does that mean you're putting together your song list and?
Yeah. So whenever you see a guest entertainer on board, they'll do a certain, they'll do songs, but they always have chat and talk and stuff in between. Or they have like videos or something, or there's some sort of stuff that goes on in between, and that does actually need to be scripted. Because if it's not, things can go very wrong. And it does. Yeah.
So David is saying we'll have to say a great show as usual, but this is the best by far. Have to go, but all the best. And thanks for your insight, Colin.
Oh,
thanks,
Dave.
Nice to meet you.
Leave the microwave alone.
Yeah, well, good night, David.
Yep.
Yeah, so working on a 3rd show, and I feel pretty good about it. You never know until you put it up on stage in front of an audience. It does change, and things that used to work or that you think might work, they just don't, and so you have to fix them or change them. And some songs that you love, maybe the audience doesn't quite get, and it doesn't matter how well you sing it or what connection you have to it. If it doesn't connect with the audience, you got to change it. And that's just sort of something that you sort of work through over time. And then also I've had my originals band, which we've, during COVID, we did a couple of music videos. We got our single up and ready and out, and now we're out sort of around Melbourne gigging and whatnot. So that's been really good. So yeah, I've had those couple of things going on. I am writing a book in the background, but that's been a very long time going.
And what's the book about?
It is a very horrible teen sci-fi fantasy novel.
Oh, wow.
Yep, I'm a nerd.
I thought it would have been something like My Life on Board Ship.
No, I have weirdly decided to stay away from that. I'm a secret nerd, and I love anything sci-fi fantasy, and yeah, so writing the things that I like.
I've got to talk to Ford Man here for a minute. Ford Man here, great interview, Kenny. Thank you very much. I'll be catching up with you tomorrow tomorrow our time in the evening. So that will be awesome. Catch up with you later, buddy. Okay, so now,
what else are people saying?
After saying all good, some don't know it's because there's a lot of bi-submarine sites and they don't like those. Yeah, we've had a couple of issues where YouTube has just suddenly gone and removed friends from different YouTube sites just for the hell of it. So anyway, us and more have got a question for you. Colin, just sit down and write it. I have 3 arm writings. She's writing a book. 3 books.
Okay. Yeah, I've got 60,000 words to be fair. I'm just trying to finish it. It's always the finishing that's the worst, isn't it?
Okay. So let me give you the words of Yoda. Do or do not. There is no try.
Oh, that was a really good one. Wow. I would high five you. High five through the screen. That was awesome. That was good.
Just come with us on the cruise. Then you don't have to worry about giving me the high five.
Awesome.
Yep. Kenny's still listening in the background while getting ready for school. That's good.
That's amazing. Kenny, what year are you?
Kenny is doing auto mechanics. Kenny is a sufferer from, I think it's spina bifida or one of those. He's in a wheelchair. So he's actually doing amazing stuff, that guy.
Amazing.
We're incredibly impressed by him.
Awesome.
Arthur saying it's great to see another sci-fi geek.
Oh, such a nerd. I also, so random fact, I used to be on a TV show for anime many moons ago. So many moons ago. I was young and things were up. But yes, I was on a anime chat TV show where we basically did reviews for Japanese anime. It's now a massive, it was a massive industry back then, but it's actually blown up in a different way that I never thought it would. And I still have friends from that show who are actually now voice actors for some of the most prominent animes that are out right now. And it's such a weird thing because I'll see somebody mention something about, this cool anime that they saw. And I'm like, hey, I know those guys. It's such a weird thing.
Donovan, welcome aboard, buddy.
Donovan.
Even though you're a bit late, you've just missed the most amazing interview we've had with Colin Mackenzie Poole, who is an entertainer on some of the ships.
No, he's not late. He's Nate.
Oh, sorry, Nate.
Better Nate.
Yep. Okay. Ron is saying that Kenny is an inspiration. He is. As an actor. He is. And Donovan thinks he's being funny, but he's saying, "May the 4th be with you."
That's true. It's so close.
1 week away.
Next week, yes.
No, that's next Tuesday, right?
That's correct.
It should be a holiday.
It should be. And let me say to Donovan, live long and prosper.
Oh, Rutro. Did you just pull a Star Trek?
Yep.
In the middle of May the 4th? I'm sorry.
I can do all these things, it's my show.
You don't have to just be a Trekkie or a Star Wars fan. You can be both.
That's correct.
No, No, but my friend KG he's done Seven Deadly Sins, Ajin. He might have done an episode of My Hero Academia, but they would have been small bits. But I love that show. It's a great show.
Donovan is saying he'll certainly watch the replay, which is good. And Ron C is saying, great to meet you, Colin. Arthur is saying it's been a great interview. So there's a few people stepping out. There's
Kenny, cerebral palsy.
Cerebral palsy. I apologize, Kenny. Cerebral palsy and
hydrocephalus.
Oh, wow.
Have been for 26 years. So
amazing, man. Amazing.
Yeah, he is an absolute inspiration, this young man.
And you've got a YouTube channel?
Yes, he does. It's called Fordman, a.k.a. Kenneth Oakes.
I will come find you. Awesome.
Yep. He does trivia as well.
He's famous for doing taste tests on things like Tabasco sauce and all that sort of stuff.
Well, he's tried Vegemite too.
Oh, he has tried Vegemite.
He's done a Vegemite.
Yeah. He's tried what do they call it? Axle grease. Donovan is saying that Star Wars, SG-1, Star Trek, love them all, love Seven Deadly Sins, and I don't watch much anime, but it was awesome.
Yeah. Cool. Big fan on all of those.
Heather is a Trekkie.
Yes.
And I'm a Trekkie because I love my Trekkie decks. Sean's into all that. No, it's not my cup of tea. Each to his own.
Okay, so we've been going for an hour, folks. I know that Colin has got some exciting stuff to do in the background, so I think we should give her a break. So we're going to put her down into the basement. I'm going to say goodbye to everybody, and we shall catch up with you later.
Thank you, Colin.
Thank you so much.
Tonight.
All right, have a good night.
Appreciate it.
Just hang on a couple minutes in the basement, if you don't mind.
Oh, okay, yeah, sure.
The green room, please.
Sorry, the green room.
We have guests.
We have guests. We have guests.
We didn't tidy the basement.
Oh no! That's good because Troy's not here to tidy it up. Yeah, that's okay. Yes. The rat pack. Okay, so we'll say goodbye to Colin for the moment.
Bye, guys. It was nice to meet everybody.
And so for the rest of you folks, have an awesome week. What's left of it. To my gorgeous wife, I wish you the most awesome birthday tomorrow.
Thank you, Mahan. I much appreciate it. Can we just say Saturday? We're traveling.
Yep.
So we won't be doing.
Well, we'll try to do.
We may stop.
But we may be late.
It depends where we are on the road, and we might stop and do a live if the mice and the hamsters can pedal enough to give us some power, some Wi-Fi and internet. Otherwise, we'll only see you next Wednesday night. But stay tuned on Saturday just in case we pop up.
Yep. Have an awesome night, day, whatever, and we'll talk to you soon.
See ya.
Bye now.
Bye now.